Hello.
What
My
up, Daily Motion Show? What up, Ricardo? What a time we're gonna have today.
we
Yeah,
finally made one, ladies and gentlemen.
so excited to be here, guys. So excited.
The one
Yeah.
and only. Now, I mean, everybody in the chat knows how this goes at this point, but Ricardo, we're going to have a couple questions for you that we wrote up that you saw already. Chat, feel free to go ahead and ask questions in the chat while we're talking, and we'll pop over to some of those questions as we see them. And then we'll create a reel, and yeah, it's going to be fun. It'll be good. Noah, do you have a first thing that you want to start with from our list of cues?
I'm just happy to be here with the lovely Ricardo, Richprjcts, incredible work. Yeah, we love to ask this question right off the bat because everybody's got a different weird little answer. You get into motion design in some strange little sideways ways. So I'm curious how you found your way into motion design.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to reply to that. So the journey is like very, very long. I mean, like I started making motion design for the very first time I touched After Effects was in 2014. Basically, it was like I started to go to high school. It was my first year at high school, and it was a graphic design high school. So I started to get the basics of Photoshop in there, and also InDesign something.
Design high school?
Yeah. In Italy,
What?
there aren't graphic design high school in.
I wish.
No, there
not
aren't.
that I know of. No.
Oh
I
my
thought
God.
I thought there were some kind of no. So that's interesting. So we have a yeah, in Italy we have a sort of it's a high school which is based on like creating simple very very simple introduction to graphic design, and in general we also learn how to print stuff. So it's graphic and also the post. So after you create the design, how to print that and some stuff like that. But it was interesting. So they gave also us the Adobe programs. So I thought, okay, let's see. Like you have all the bundles of all the programs, and you see, okay, I get Photoshop. Like, what's that? How to use that? But I was curious about After Effects, and the first time was like a pain. Like I didn't know like where to where to where to touch. It was like a sort of a pain, but I got helped by a guy which already started to play around with After Effects. We had like this sort of group. We were called the Noob Makers, and it was like a group of like people of like 14, 15 years old.
Yeah.
So all young people will make like random stuff on YouTube. And at the same time, we were like also playing Minecraft. So it was like a sort of gameplay channel and also a graphic channel. At that time, if you were familiar, guys, with YouTube,
Yeah.
there was like this bunch of plenty YouTubers that have at the first seconds of the video their intro.
Mhm.
Like there was this trend of having the intro of before every video. So I was amazed that you see like how these texts were moving. I love to see that stuff, and they said, okay, I want to make that stuff. And they told me, okay, to do that stuff, you need to use After Effects. So one of my first try, like the very first try, is the one I've sent you on the Discord.
Well, we gotta watch that.
Yeah. Let's watch that.
Let's see where it all began. All right, here we go.
This was my first try.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So you see a lot of like dubstep.
That's
in there.
amazing.
Yeah, I love to. I was called from that period because I've used that in every intro since then. The Twitch guy, because I love to work with the Twitch.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was in every intro since then. For 1 year, I put that Twitch in every intro I made. So yeah, that was my sign. Like,
That's
look at
cool.
it. If you see the Twitch, like it was made by Rich, and yeah, that's when I started to like started to getting better at and trying to figure out how to work with After Effects. So like the first 2-3 years was just making these 3D spinning intros, and we started to create a very great community in there. It was like very interesting because we also made a lot of contests. Here in Europe, there were a lot of contests, also like with prizes, with cash prizes in there.
Yeah.
So it was exciting. There was these battles, and I loved to like. You are in the competition, but it's a friendly competition because all the people are very, very young.
Mhm.
So we enjoyed that time. It was very great. We had a very great community in Italy and also outside of Italy. There was like a very great connection. And but then like I saw that probably I was doing like the same stuff like continuously.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you see like the other showreel of my first year, like the intros
Oh.
were totally the same as the first one.
Well, we gotta know.
Yeah.
I can see what you mean by you're the Twitch king.
Yeah. It's always Twitch.
Dude, I can't articulate how jealous I was of this community at that time because I was on the other end of it. I was making the Minecraft YouTube videos all the time, and I was seeing all these smaller YouTubers get there. Oh, dude, 2015's coming soon. Where did it go?
Yeah.
But
I like this. This is my right.
It's so fun. But I was on the other side of it, and I mean, I was like, can I get an intro somewhere? Or like, how do I get one? And I mean, I eventually ended up getting one, but it was like my Minecraft skin, like walking through this dirt patch, and then like this creeper blows up behind it, and then there's just this like cloud texture on the bottom with like my name, like Ender Bowens or some shit, like up at the top. And it was
amazing.
It's a classic, but like, man, that was such a cool community to be in back then. I'm really jealous.
There was this mix of doing Minecraft stuff because everyone in there were playing Minecraft, and this also side community.
Oh
no.
Oh no. I think he accidentally left the Discord call. Oh no.
He might have accidentally left
Hold
the
on.
Discord.
I'll ring him. There we go.
Okay. Dude, my only experience with that kind of stuff was like me and my friend sitting on my like tiny little Mac back in 2000, I don't even know when, and like inputting our details, trying our very, very hardest to get like this website to spit us out a Minecraft intro. It was rough, man.
It's tough.
Welcome back.
I think your Discord crashed or something.
Yeah, it crashed. I don't know what happened. Okay, now I can hear you guys.
Oh, perfect.
So what we were talking, like it was an open community, and we used to talk on Skype.
Mm-hmm.
We're used to as well.
Yeah, I miss those days, man. I don't know if you ever came across it, but when I started my first like design studios, I recruited everyone from like the Planet Minecraft forums online. It's like where people would go and post their new like map packs or plugins or whatever that they made.
Yeah. I remember.
what a time, man. We gotta like reignite that community and bring it back. We gotta have like a tournament of all the intro makers or something. That'd be hilarious.
I wish to return at least once to those times, because yeah, it's from everything started. So yeah, that's crazy. And yeah, after that, like after this bunch of intros, which were continuously the same, I figured out, okay, I can't do this stuff like as always. So I had to change something. So in 2017, there was like this sort of thing that people started to get bored on of the intros, of course. Also, all the Minecraft period were ended already since then.
Mhm.
So we started to. I started to recognize. Okay, I want to be more. At that period, I used that word professional. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wanted to be more professional instead of making this as hobby. And also, I had just 1 or 2 years left from my high school, so I wanted to start thinking about the how to convert this hobby to maybe a real job. So that's when I discovered Behance, and that was amazing. Like, I saw a lot of great inspiration from there, also about motion design,
Mhm.
and it blew my mind, because I felt like motion design was all just creating particles,
Yeah, with
3D text,
twitches and
images, and then I saw like a lot of 2D complex animations already at that period, and I was amazed, because okay, like this is crazy, like how you can do that just in After Effects. It blew my mind.
yeah.
So I wanted to convert all what I was making like in a sort of 3D style in 2D. So that's when I started to do, by one side, trying to create a sort of portfolio of posters, graphic design, logo designs. I tried everything, like everything you might think about design. I tried also web design, like everything.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I stopped for a while, and they said, okay, maybe I need to focus on just one thing. And that one thing that excited me the most was motion design. So yeah,
You really ran through the gamut. You really did all the things before you settled
Yeah.
yeah.
on design. I think that the people who come into it from having experience with graphic design often have a little bit of an easier time in motion design. I'm
Mhm.
curious though. I noticed on your very first works, what was it? It was like still rich something. Hold on.
The
Graphic
first
rich.
one,
It was
Graphic Rich. Yeah, this was. I changed the name, like my username changed like 7, 8 times.
Did it
But
always have
Rich,
rich in it?
yeah, it always had Rich in it, but it was like Graphic Rich. Then it was Rich Effects. Then it was I'm Rich Fans, and then Rich, like yeah, Rich Projects. But yeah, it was a continuously
That's so funny.
Richie.
Where did rich come from?
Oh, Rich comes from Richard, and my name is Ricardo. So I like
That makes sense.
I, I like my name like in Italian, but like in English, everything, like in Italy we have this concept of everything which is talked in English seems more cool,
Really?
and yeah,
I'm
like
sure we feel the
everything.
opposite, I feel like.
And there is like also they want to make a law right now in Italy, which is crazy. They want to remove a lot of English slangs. For example, like workshop. They want to return to use the English words of every stuff, which is totally no sense.
Yeah.
Uh, I love using like English words, like we have a meeting. We also use, like, I have a call. We also use that in Italy. We love to mix all these English, but for some reasons, like probably the Italian government don't like we are being so international.
Uh-huh.
They want to return back. So, but yeah, talking about my name, yeah, it's basically because of Richard, and I moved. I just simplified the name, and that becomes Rich. And it was since I started using a computer, like
Yeah,
it was like that. Yeah.
that's awesome.
That's
Man,
fantastic.
I should just change the channel name back to like Ender Bowens or something and just roll with it.
Definitely.
I think I
Why
got
we
to
were
do
all
it.
worried about like what
You
the
know?
channel. We
I
really
know.
know.
It was there from the very beginning. I should have just stayed with it. I had a similar thing that I went through with naming though. I mean, it was like anytime I would just decide I needed a rebrand like every year, but I would never go by my name or anything. So it was like Tech Wave and Tech Reperio, which is like discovery in Latin or something. I thought I was so cool for thinking of that. And then like Blueprint Studios, but with no E. And then I just decided to go by my last name. And there's like 3 more in between all of those, but it was just like, you know, you just throw it at the wall and you see what sticks, you know?
Yeah, I feel like we all went through those little like phases of like this very similar name. Like I have my name and it's like added on some other letters and it has like more meaning or whatever. But I
Uh,
feel that I like rich projects. I remember when I first found you online, I was like, ooh, that's very interesting.
yeah.
Rich projects, because also it's like rich project. It implies that there's like a lot happening there. You know what I mean? I like it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, exactly. I really don't know. It's the second time my Discord is crashing, so I don't know what's happening there.
It just
not
keeps
like
things fun. You
Yes,
never know what's
like
gonna happen.
now when I don't hear you guys, I know what, like, it's what to do. But yeah, that's crazy.
I'll
I
just be
just close all my Windows applications, so maybe there's some conflict with that. Sorry for
Maybe.
that.
No, you're good.
no problem.
You're totally fine. Do we want to take a question from chat?
I'd love to take a question from chat. There've been some great ones already.
Yeah, let's take a question from chat. Yeah.
All right, here we go. A classic. John Valgraph, don't let that influence your decision here, says, if you had to pick one graph for the rest of your design career, would you choose speed or value graph?
Mm.
Oh, I am a value graph guy.
Oh,
Ooh.
Yeah,
my poor
Well, this has
feelings
been
are
fun.
hurt.
I love to use the value graph. It's like, I don't know. It's easy because the speed has this sort of mountain like this. I don't use. I like. I
Is
I
that
really like don't understand that.
what we're
That's
learning?
really
Is
nice.
that like speed graph and value graph is like whether you like the mountains or you like the beach? Like the value graph is more of like the waves, and then you've
Yeah,
got like
I
the
love beach.
mountains or the speed.
I love the beach. I hate mountain.
I'll take mountains.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I'll live in my mountains, I guess.
Yeah, I grew up in
Yeah.
the mountains. I have to just it's
Ah,
mountains for
okay.
me.
That seems legit. Seems legit. Yeah, like I when I see like the value graph, I already imagine how it goes. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's the same for you for the speed
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
So it's just a sort of how fast you see the
Yeah.
Mm.
yeah, basically is that, but maybe we see the two things more easily.
It's just
That's
whatever like makes sense immediately. Like I guess when I started animating, I was probably just thinking like how do I make things move faster was probably what I was looking for. And so I was
yeah.
just like, oh, they have a graph for that. So it's like, oh, mountain in the speed graph, speed fast, speed slow, you know? And that's all I really needed to know, I guess.
I
Exactly.
remember when I was first introduced to After Effects, Austin was like, "Here, let me show you After Effects." I was like, "All right." He's like, so just don't touch the value graph. All you need
I
is the screen
tainted
graph."
him.
I was like, all right, that's easy.
Why?
It's been terrible ever since.
I don't know.
You're not.
It's my reign of terror. You know,
It really
Okay.
is.
I'm just a value
I
graph
was looking at
hater.
the mountains. I feel right at home. It was perfect.
That's funny.
Amazing.
All right. Well, I have another question for you. It is, what inspires your design work? Where do you find most of your inspiration?
Yeah.
Is it through other
So
designers and also through just life?
so basically, I'm getting inspired from like everything. I'm this sort of thing when I work in the metro station in Milan. I love to like see motion posters. We have like these billboards, which is kind of cool. Some of them are really great. For example, there was the Spotify Wrapped of the year,
Mm.
like all the metro. It's so cool because I get a lot of inspiration from this sort of things. So I love to work by there, but during my time at the computer, of course, I took inspiration from a lot of designers, as well as you guys, and a lot of creative people that use the like bold colors, shapes, simple shapes, but also like kinetic text. I'm inspired with everything which comes from that. I have like an infinite board on Pinterest with all these colors and stuff in there, and I'm I'm also inspired with this sort of I called it like the Asian style because a lot
Yeah.
of people from like East is doing that, where you see a lot of bunch of illustration graphics. There is like thousands of simple shapes and icons, smiley faces all over the screen. Like it's full of illustration and colors, and I love that style. When I see something static about that, it's like, oh, I want to animate that. I want to animate all these little things.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I think I've put in the Discord something related to that. You see, like there is a lot of colors in there, and talking about studios, I'm very getting inspired to Illo, which is a studio here in Italy.
Awesome,
Um,
man. I love them,
they
man.
they're
Good stuff.
yeah they are so minimalistic, but at the same time, like I love how their flow in every animation. It's all seems so smooth. I
Yeah.
love how they create textures in that. It's like majestic work. Like every work they make is it's pure excitement to me. Like wow. And there is also another reference I'm used to like see a lot, which is Call Me Cham. Also, this guy has a studio. It's like mind blowing as well. Like
Yeah.
a lot of crazy stuff. But there are plenty of studios right now which creates amazing designs. Like I think some of the studios creates more kind of they are more focused on how to animate better, and some of them reach the how to make the design looks more appealing.
Right.
There's like this sort of thing where I see many studios which focus on, okay, let's create the most complex transition animation, while maybe not giving so much on the design. And
Right.
the other one is, okay, I want to make a beautiful like storyboard, a beautiful style frame in every single frame. And yeah, the animation will be still good, but I want to focus about that. I'm more of the second style, which is I prefer to have like these beautiful frames instead of going into the transition. But
I agree.
yeah,
I mean, I think that's the direction of a lot of people who have sort of like been in motion for a little while now are like, well, I can basically get a good transition whenever I want, so I might as well just focus on making sure like the foundation feels good, more than necessarily the motion, because we know we can make good feeling stuff at this point, and so let's try and make it look pretty, you know?
exactly.
Yeah,
Good design carries okay animation.
it does. And when you have good
Yeah,
animation, then great design all the more. It just makes it that much better, you know?
Very true.
absolutely.
We have two nice things I just wanted to call out in the chat. Somebody said, all caps, Jesus Christ, my favorite motion designers on one stream. What is this, a crossover episode? Hi, guys. Greetings from Brazil.
Oh,
So thank you for that, Hassan. And someone else, Ale, also says, Ricardo is one of my most favorite and probably most talented motion designers I know. Love his show
okay.
reels.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I work with Alice on a showreel.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
I'm also used to. I think one of the very first thing when I started to getting recognized in the industry was because of my 2018 showreel, which on YouTube made a lot of views.
Yeah.
And starting from that, like many people starting to ask me a showreel. But it's not as easy as it seems to make a showreel of other people, because like you have 1,000 of assets of
Yeah.
people. But for example, working with Alice was amazing because he sent me this Figma file, which everything was like connected, and all the folders ready. If I have like all this preparation, all the stuff already assembled and ready to use, I'm okay with that.
Mhm.
But in some cases, there were also I had to make some show reels, and the assets was like a mess. So
Yeah.
like all disconnected. They started to send me 2 assets. Then they started to send me other assets 1 week later.
And you're like, I need all of this so I can plan it out, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I can't do one thing. Like they wanted to return, like, okay, let's return to the beginning and add this thing.
it's like,
No.
what? If we change things at the beginning, that's gonna like make all of the stuff after that change. My
Yeah,
favorite
so
my favorite requests from clients are when it's a something to do with a timing, like for the music or something. It's like, oh, can we just like use a whole different music track or something? And it's like, uh, if you want to pay for
well,
all that time remapping, sure, I guess, but otherwise, probably
yeah,
wouldn't recommend it.
it's a pain for every motion designer, I think, or
Yeah.
for every editor.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I think so too. Now you mentioned that one of your first showreels got, I think 2018 one got a lot of
Yeah.
views on YouTube. Is that sort of when you first were thrust into the public spotlight, when you first got a lot of eyes on your work? What was that journey like growing on social media?
So yeah, I'm always used to use social media. Before there was like YouTube. Um, yeah, starting from that point, from that showreel, I started to getting more confident. Also having client requests. Before I was used to having these like friends of mine or like other guys like me, which were like 16 years old, 17 years old. So they wanted just an intro,
Mm-hmm.
something very quick. When I started to uploading that showreel and it started to blow up, I started to, of course, getting more like bigger clients with different budgets. And at the first time, I was scared because also to raise my prices because I started to recognize, okay, I can make it that as a work. Like before, it was really just a hobby. I wasn't getting paid a lot for my works, of course. But after that, I recognized, okay, like many people wants like a work from me, so I have to, of course, raising prices and creating. I can't like create all for everyone. I need to select the correct clients. I have to choose to who I can make the work. So
Yeah.
I started to read more in detail all the briefs. And talking about social media, after YouTube, I completely like abandoned my channel, and I started to recreating all the community on Instagram. And also my Instagram journey was like a sort of uh, I had like this period when I create a lot of stuff and I publish like every day,
Yeah.
and some others where like for 2-3 months I totally disappear. So it's not great as not so great, but there was this period when I wanted to feel that people vibes to create one graphics per day. It was one poster per day.
Yeah.
And then was also when I blew up on Instagram. I
Yeah.
started feeling recognized, but for the posters. And it was like, okay, but because on that period I wanted to just create posters. I had this thing to create posters. But after that, I returned to say, okay, no, maybe I need to focus on motion design, which was my very first thing. So I started to getting also people on Instagram and also on Behance. These are the two social media I use most. And I also love Behance also because of I had also this thing in mind. I wanted to get the badge.
Oh yeah.
I struggled to have the first badge on Behance. I'm on Behance since like 2016, and I got my first badge in 2020. So I started like I wanted to create many projects, many personal projects in there, and I struggled to get this badge. When I got the first one, like then it was like it flows continuously, like, and it was amazing. But the first one was so hard to receive.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time I got that, I was so excited. Like I went to my mom, I got my first
That's awesome.
badges. She really didn't know anything about that. So
She's like,
and
oh, very nice.
What's that
and they
mean?
said you don't know what's happening right now, because I had this thing that when you get these badges, I started to also recognize that after I started to get the first, the second, the third badge, also many clients started to contacting me. In fact, many clients usually contact me also from seeing me from Behance, for example, and not only Instagram. So it's feeling.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. I'm on it. I'm
Oh
ringing
no.
him. I'm ringing him. I'm on it. I'm on it. He doesn't know. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no,
Wave
Ricardo.
wildly with your hands.
There you go. I have his hand signal now. We're good. Oh, there we go.
Right.
You're all good.
I really sorry for that, but
No,
really,
you're totally fine.
what's happening in my Discord? Maybe I haven't updated that. I don't. So sorry about that.
No, you're good.
I don't know how much I talked there, but yeah, I was saying that basically Beyonce is super nice, super great. Like to everyone who's starting their journey, I recommend a lot you use that with their portfolio. Because to me, it helped me a lot. Also to create the case studies also for my website, for example, it's nice because you have this structure, you have a lot of things in there, you can manage how to create you are not just creating the work, and it's also how you present
Right.
your work, which is great.
Yeah, we need
Yeah.
to get a lot better at that. I can't tell the
No.
amount of times that we've gotten leads come through, but there's a certain point where it's like, well, we can do what you're asking for, but we don't have like branding work on the review website necessarily. Like it kind of comes down to like you just have to trust me that we can do this, and most people won't do that. So we're trying to figure that out. I think you do a very good job of that.
It's mainly also, I think, because of my graphic design high school, because they teach us a lot about how to present a work. I think it's one of the most important thing, like how you it's also important how you present the work you are creating in a sort of appealing way, so people will get like this is a great execution, also well presented. It's a great combo, which is totally useful also to getting more clients. I think like this
I
helped
agree.
me a lot.
Yeah.
What, in your opinion, makes work very well presented? Could you distill that a little bit for the people?
You mean like what I mean about well presented?
Yeah, like what does that mean to you? What would a project look like if it was well presented?
So like the presentation is also the first thing, like, and it's one of the thing I'm most like I think it's of obsession with that. I honestly have this obsession. It's the thumbnail. Like the first thing is the thumbnail. Like if the thumbnail is not perfect, or at least like how I want that, I like the project seems not complete.
Yeah.
It's just complete. Yeah. Okay. And so this is the first thing, and the second one is for sure like I love, for example, the presentation of the text, the description, how to describe the project, and yeah, all the style frames. I love also. I'm not used to, for example, showing the process, but I love showing just also the style frames in a motion design video.
Yeah.
Because they're mostly part of that. But in general, also how to present them. So I want to show them in a grid, in a carousel, like all this kind of stuff. To me, they're like also the other 50% of the work. I love to present my work like the best way I can.
Yeah.
Also the stories. I'm used also to create some stories with Photoshop, for example.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah.
There you go.
Sometimes it's crazy, but
you love it, and that's what's important, you know?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So care about that presentation.
Yeah.
Hot tips. That's
We'll
nice.
crit some work in just a second, but there was one question a little earlier that I wanted to make sure I didn't forget. One person asked, I think Sayla Hamza asked, what your like philosophy is, what your thoughts are around choosing your colors.
Ooh, that's a great one.
Yeah, that's a great one. So basically, when I choose colors for my works, for my personal one, now I have literally a color palette which I'm following. Also, this coherence between like the colors. I'm used to have the same scheme of colors in every personal project, at least I have. So I have this pattern of colors which is always the same. Or if I need to add new colors, I try to see if they match with the other ones I already have. So when I started to, for example, decide which color was the best one to me, I wanted to have a saturated color palette, so very vibrant colors, which can captivate like the attention of the viewer, of course. So the first one is the one I also have in my avatar and everything. Is what is my yellow, like which is kind of similar of the McDonald's ones, because I love it. It's very captivating. and you see everyone loves McDonald's, so
It works. Why not use it?
I get it.
So yeah, and after that I set up all the other ones, but they based on my personal preference. Like I started to look for other works, other inspiration designs. I found many great colors which were great together, and that's when I completed my first color palette. And during client works, of course, like
oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. It's like EOS webcam utility. I love this.
It's hilarious.
It's really funny.
I do love his color palette.
During
client projects, you were saying?
Yes.
No way, guys. Sorry for that.
No, it's like a fun game. I honestly think it's fun. I like it.
There's someone who don't who doesn't want to let me speak. And they probably think it's my computer as well, so that's okay. Yeah, in general, like talking about clients, of course, you can't do much with the colors. Like there were some clients which say to me, okay, you can use every color you want. So I used my ones. I'm more familiar with that, while others, of course, I had to stick with the color palette. But it's great also to change, like for some period with using some other colors. For example, I'm not so good, I think, at using, for example, gradients. It's not something I'm more. I had some works when I used to have these gradients, but I don't know. Like the flat ones feels also more simple to manage.
I agree. There's it helps to just have that contrast, I guess, because you can be like, this color is for when there's shadows or darker things, and this is for when there's highlights or whatever, rather than having to be like, can I use these two together as a gradient or these two? Or, I get that. And I think that's a good piece of advice to like not really have to worry about like making a color palette for a specific project, but just think about like, if I were to have a color palette that I could use for things, what would that look like? Like, what are a set of colors that I'd like to use? And then you have your own little library every time you need to start a project. I like that because I was making a loop every week last year. Now I've got like 7 different color palettes I can choose from consistently, rather than having to be like, what colors am I going to use for this project? Like I don't want to have to go through that every time.
Exactly.
All right. Well,
I love like bright color palette. Just like, I have some color palettes that are very similar to yours, and I absolutely just adore using them.
Yeah,
so I feel you there.
It's fun. Shall we critique a showreel?
I would love to critique a showreel. That would be
my showreel.
Okay. No, we could never.
Okay, sorry.
All right.
Okay.
Now, are you prepped and ready to roast?
Prepped and ready to roast.
All right.
I have also.
Oh.
No way.
Perfect. Perfect. Let's do it.
Yeah. 1 second. I bring them.
Now, this one is 32 seconds. Now, Ricardo, a thing that usually happens with people's reels when they submit them to the show is I'll hover my mouse when I feel like the reel should have stopped. And usually it's like right around 30 seconds. So I'm hoping that I won't hover my mouse here, but we'll see. We'll see.
Okay, it's on the Discord one. Okay, I hope you don't crash. Okay.
If it does, we'll wave our arms. It'll be good. All right, here we go. I think this is a revisited one, re-edited from our feedback from before.
Ooh. I'm interested. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
That's
Yes. There it
great.
is. That's
This is
beautiful.
crazy.
Right
This
when
is
it needs
great.
to end, it does.
I know. I will admit I hovered at like 22, but that I think it was just there were like a couple shots in a row that could have just had like a tiny little bit of trimming on them, like just a couple that felt like they went on a little bit longer than some of the others. But like that shot with the radar just felt a little bit long.
I will say. It might be a little long, but I do
But it's
love
really
that.
pretty and it looks cool and like it's 32 seconds. It's a great reel. It feels good. There's
This was re-edited. Well done.
Yeah, before this was like a minute and a half or something, you know?
Yeah. Any feedback?
Yeah, it seems to like being in a sort of a movie, in a movie trailer, which is amazing. Like, I love also the other scene as well. Is well executed. Also the HUD of, also the type work, like everything.
I agree.
And seeing also a lot of like texture works in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
The texture they have on like some of the UI panels is really fun too.
I agree. But there's also like a diverse, like you can tell that there's a pretty consistent style, especially when you get into some of these things. It's kind of like a somewhat grungy texture, you know, like there's a little bit of more detail to it. But it's done in ways where it doesn't feel like it's the same thing each time, because this feels very different from like this, even though they both have like some scuffing up and those sorts of things going on. It feels like there's a good amount of diversity.
The sort of dirty effect in there is, which makes it very kind of beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I love that like mammoth scene right at
I
the
do
beginning.
too. It's really pretty.
That like full focus is really nice.
That feels really good.
This is like a very specialized reel. And if these are the things you love doing, which it seems like it is, absolutely well done. I think people are gonna absolutely eat this up. So
it's great.
Great job, Lauren.
And especially having submitted before, this is phenomenal recovery on this. It looks great.
Yeah,
I love it.
This is one of our first
return submissions.
It's one of our first return submissions and one of our first crits where we really don't have a lot of negative stuff to say.
Yeah, it's a good reel.
Pretty much, this is great. I don't think you really need to do much to it.
Yeah. Great. Boom.
Not even roasted. Boom. Not
boom.
Roasted.
I liked it. Cool. Well,
that's fantastic.
Somebody in chat says, "Oh snap, our submission's still open." Yes, there's a link in the description to a Google form to submit your work for critique. That being said, I think we've got time for like maybe one more question. We can take it from chat or we can take it from our list. I know we didn't get to everything, but
I would like to watch that. I'll put it in the chat. This is my crit. I mean, my rec. This is my rec. It's a showreel that started Ricardo blowing up with the 160K views. Okay, pop off.
Jeez, that's nuts. Okay, yeah.
The 2018 one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's give this a watch. And
yeah, okay.
It was 2 minutes. Wow.
I know.
Yeah.
2-minute reel. What a flex. Jeez.
Oh my goodness.
All right, here we go. Oh, I
Sorry?
see.
I want to like talk over while we're watching it.
I forgot Noah was getting drowned out by the sound because it's coming through his speakers. My bad.
I'm drowning over here. I see where this one went kind of viral. Especially that
Yeah,
beginning is like
It-
super well timed to
it's
the music. It feels
punchy.
fantastic.
You know?
exactly.
Especially with
can-
the like
Yeah, the music choice was definitely one of the main things.
You can just really tell when there's a motion designer who also just knows how to edit things. It's so strange to me, like how separated of a skill that can be sometimes. But there's a lot of people who just don't know how to time things to music, you know. But you do, and it shows.
Also because the music was too short in there.
Oh, you added another. You added a
Another
different
what?
track. We had this one project where when we originally animated the whole thing, it was enough for the one track that we had chosen from Artlist. But then they had us time remap the entire thing to be like double the length, so we had to use the same song twice. Like we just had to put it back to back and let it play over again. It was insane.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I know. They just made everything so slow. It was nuts.
Oh my god! And I think
banger.
the music was kind of like one of the stock ones,
Oh yeah.
very the corporate ones.
Yep. I try and stay away from that. The fact that they even have a corporate genre on Artlist is crazy to me. I'm like, why are people choosing this? That's wild.
I really don't know. I really don't know.
It's so
corporate.
weird.
That's us. We should.
We're a corporation. Let's do that. Here is my rec I wanted to put out. I think this was the first project, and I'm sure a lot of people came to you from this.
Oh,
This is the first one that I found you from, and so
yeah.
you know, got to give it
Yeah.
some time.
Yeah, that's a classic.
There's just so much eye candy, man. I love it.
The,
I
the,
love
fu-
it.
the fun fact of this one is that I hadn't make any style frames. Everything was like After Effects. Like, okay, let's jump into After Effects. Okay, let's create these shapes.
Yeah.
Okay, boom.
That's
this
how to
next
make
one.
the best stuff, honestly.
I
Like,
make the
Yeah.
best stuff when I do that. Yeah.
it's so fun because you just have to get in that mindset of like, okay, I made this. What happens after it? And like, it's just improv the entire time. I love that.
Love with
If
it.
you do that in Illustrator, you have this other time to like digest everything. Then
Yeah.
you go into After Effects and you don't remember what you were doing. But if you you don't know what's next, you maybe will create something even better.
Right.
So yeah. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. That's so fun.
Thank you.
Oh. Well, there's our Rex. You want to get
There's our
one more
Rex.
question out of the chat?
I'd love to take one more question on the chat and then do our final question.
Okay.
Mhm.
Do you see any off the bat that seem fun?
Well, there's kind of a double one that fits with our last question. I'd like to do that.
Okay. Go right
John
ahead.
Valuegraph asks. Well, okay, this is a two-part question. One is that like first showreel self of yours.
Back in 2014.
Young Ricardo, right? If you could give him one piece of like specifically motion design advice, it could be about design, it could be about motion design. What would you like to tell your younger self, specifically in terms of like being a good motion designer and being a good designer?
In terms of motion design, oh well, yeah, that's a great one. I think like in terms of motion, I will just maybe tell him to also focus a lot on characters animation, because it's really fun. But now I feel already more inside of other type of stuff of animation,
Right.
which unfortunately I'm not having a lot of time to focus on characters and characters animation as well. And it seems pretty fun. And also, probably I would also suggest him to at least give a try on frame by frame animation, like cell animation. I've never tried with that, and I'm a bit scared to do that, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I'm not familiar with like drawing frame by frame, but probably if I were a bit more younger, I would give that a try. As a lot of things I've tried during my career, that was the one I've missed for sure, which probably I regret, but we can't do everything, of course. So,
Right.
Maybe we'll
yeah.
do a challenge where we get a bunch of motion designers to try styles and versions of things that they've never done before. You'll do frame. You'll do frame by frame.
So now you signed yourself up. There you go.
Great job.
It's amazing.
I do agree with you though. It is way easier to get the will to learn things like that when you're younger. I find myself a lot lately feeling like I'm kind of stuck in that box of like, well, I'm already pretty good at this thing, so like how far can I push that over like, do I just work with somebody else who's already really good at character animation, or do I like try and learn the whole thing? I don't know. It's a hard thing to
We
balance.
say as we're 22, but yeah.
Yeah, but you know, like having started a while ago, you know, we're talking like 2014 and
probably is also because we started also earlier. So as we have a lot of years behind, we think that even if we are younger, we are already inside a bit in the industry, and
right.
so we don't have time, but we have, of course, time to do that. But yeah,
That mental age.
Yeah, it's like we're mentally 35
so,
in the motion industry.
There you go.
We're already at the senior level.
Yeah, I'm gonna retire soon, I think, guys. Jeez. All right, our final question is more of just general. If you could talk to younger Ricardo now, what is the biggest just life advice that you would like to give him?
Yeah, I love that one. So I will probably say to him to first thing recognize like if the environment about you, if it doesn't make you feel good, then leave it like as fast as you can. Like you just need to surround with people who just have great ambitions, with always like an idea. For example, who loves to travel. I love traveling, so connect with people who loves travel, loves to have fun and like live life, and always to focus about what you think is good for you, and not to follow what other people lives. Like to stick with your life, and if you want to do something, don't wait for others. Like go straight forward to your way, and yeah, that's probably what I will say to him, because when I started, I was a lot of confused, and I started to like trying to get some comments from friends, family. You know, like you are young, so you follow maybe some other people instructions, but no, like after that, I focused on okay, I want to have this sort of life and having this sort of people. I recognize that. I think maybe I'm still figuring out some parts of my life. I'm trying to change them, but surely like 5 years ago, I was completely confused on what to do, and I followed a lot many people, and now I want
now
to do that
people are
for
following you.
Speaking of people who are following you, Do you have anything to plug? Any socials to plug?
You mean like? No, I mean like. I just like. I'm so thankful and grateful for all the people who is following my journey on my social media. Of course, like most people comes from Instagram, but in general, like I really appreciate like all the support of the community, of the design community. I love this community because like we connect, we share things, we share how to create things. I remember one of the things in the earlier community of the intros where everyone was jealous of what they were creating, so they will keep all the secrets of what they were doing.
Yeah.
When I see here in the community, there is a lot of also sharing how to create this thing or how to realize a sort of animation, a sort of trick. This was one of the things that I didn't like about, for example, that community, which instead I love in this one. Like, so I'm so grateful for all the connection I'm making every day with people, as well as you guys, because the first time I've seen your profile, the review one was like, oh my god, these you guys are so crazy, and I knew you were young, so I really knew that. Like,
We were all part
so
of the same community, and we just hadn't found each other till now.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, his website's in the description. All of his socials are probably on there. Go
Yep.
follow Rich Projects on Twitter, on YouTube, on Instagram. Fantastic work.
Bada, bada, bada.
With that,
Yeah.
that's
That's
the
the
show. Don't forget
show.
to submit your work and link in the description. You might just get it absolutely created. Don't forget to use hashtag Daily Motion Show, and maybe your work will just get wrecked.
Oh,
Dude, doing the outro is hard, man. This is
I know.
exhausting.
Don't forget the
That's when I
Discord.
finish it up.
Yeah, here you go. Link to join the Discord's also in the description. We just hit 2,800 members in there. And we'll see y'all